Hello, and welcome to rigging MMD models and MMD. Okay, so first you will want to open up MMD. I have quick snap, so I'm just going to snap it over. Excuse the background noise if you hear some. Okay, so second thing you need to do is open up your model. And now, the things you need to get is Control V, which is this one, and is it correct? Nope. And this one right here. For some reason, when I have Control M, it controls M and mutes the mic, possibly. So, besides that, um, so you need this is to rig all of this. Now we only have one bone, which is the primary bone with all of this is already connected to. This, if you look here, this is the box where it highlights all of which you can rig. Now, to view all the polys at once, you want this. This will help you know that all the polys are visible, and then use this to switch between, as we've seen before, what you want and what you don't want. Next thing you need to do is have bones. And this will replace this model with the bones, the mode models. But what you really want is this. This will apply all the IK bones and everything onto the model itself. Now, these bones are connected to this model. This is a bone from my previous model, so yeah. So, what we don't need is the hair, the eyes, because those eyes will not be moving, the eye mover, and the tongue. So let's remove them. Okay, so this is bones. This is poly. This will allow you to move the poly of the model, and this is facing. This one will allow you to establish how many faces you actually have selected, and this will also affect how it moves when you move it. Not really by much, it's still the same thing, just faces. And this is bones. Bones are for you to be able to move this. So, poly, faces, don't really need, and bones, and this is joints. This is the little yellow dots, which we are not here for it. This is just a basic tutorial how to rig the body, not the actual dots. And this is oh wait, I'm sorry. This is joints. So this is the bones, so you can actually move them. But we're not doing that right now. We just want bones. We just need bones. So all we need to do is move the bones in the area of which you want them to be. So right now, I'm just going to move all these bones down. And for a select rig, you want to hold shift to select bones, and you want to hold control to unselect bones, much as I'm going to do it down here. Now you use the pinwheel to zoom in. And we also have a sneaky bone over here. Not we're gonna worry about it yet though. And if you notice, since this is not on, I am not able to select these. I am only able to select bones themselves. If it was on, I will be able to select bones in that and move them and also size them the way that I want. But I don't need that right now. Okay, so now what you want to do is put all these bones in the correct area. By correct area, I mean just match them up with the overall arm figure. I'm pretty sure that other parts are pretty self-explanatory. Red moves the x-axis, Y moves the y-axis, and then blue moves the z-axis. Yeah. And same for the arrows. Y-axis, x-axis, and then depth axis. Don't know if I went over that yet. Probably haven't. Most likely I didn't, but I did now. So, an easier way to get bones in correctly is to, like for example, this. I'm moving this half without moving this half. So I want this half to be the same as this half because it's the same arm over here. So another way we can do that is to come over here. Okay, so this is the name area where you can name the model. And look at that. Copy. And over here is where the name will be displayed in MMD. So you want to highlight that, make sure that is checked. And then this name will appear up every time you load it up in MMD. I will finish that later, probably most likely off cam. This is the poly count, not necessary. Don't need to click on it. Same with this, dots for a reason. This is the basis. Basically, it's all of these parts. Now, if you were to highlight it or change the color of any of these parts, you will see that it actually affects the model. You can Control Z to undo what you did, but this is also what you can do to colorize the model. Same as this. This is the name of the model. This is how it looks without the textures. And then you write the texture and to what you actually want it to be. So if I just wanted a complete red shirt, it works best when it's down here. I can have a complete red shirt, but that's not what I want. I want this texture. So undo that and paste in shirt. Dot PNG. PNG. Dot PNG is important for it to actually load up because this is a PNG file. If it's JPEG or anything else, you would write that. But PNG works best. PNG and that's another thing that I'm going to mention, probably off cam. Yeah. So now back to the armature. You want to copy this over into here. You want this to come up here. So we want to go to bones. this is bones. Much like this is also the bones. And as you see, whatever bone we select appears up over there. But what we want is these. So what you want to do, select the bone that you want, which is this one. You want to copy 0. You don't want the negative because you want the x-axis. So you just want the x-axis relative to the other side. So now we go over here, come over here, it's already highlighted, and then we paste. Now it's x-axis, but you want to go up. So now we go over here, copy this, and then we come over here, and then we paste. And rinse and repeat. Oh, quick tip. Highlighting will highlight the whole thing. Exiting, coming back will highlight the whole thing. However, double tapping it will only highlight the numbers and not the negative. It's a lot faster that way. One way to make sure the armature lines up is to make sure that it lines up with the poly itself. And you're not just willy-nilly putting it all everywhere. So now let me find the hands, and I'm going to have it bend over here. Not over here, but over here. It is also important that you're not just looking at one angle all the time. You have to look at it through other angles and make sure it all lines up properly. You want it to be properly proportioned left and right. Some models will have bendable arms coming up and all that, so it varies. But for this part, for this model in particular, you want it all to have one area. Now, something that is special about this model, these hands are all one. They have no other disconnection. So all of these hands will be one fist. So with that, we only need the finger and the thumb. This we do not need. Same goes for over here. And again, if I haven't showed you yet, these circles and these parts rotates the model. And you can rotate it any which way that you want with those rings. But in the centerpiece, we have a rotator, so we can actually rotate anywhere on the axis that we actually want, or we can have then the sizer, which is a square. We can actually manipulate the sides that it takes, just like what these would do, but inside the center, which is the main one I actually use. This one allows you to take it and place it anywhere you're choosing, proportionate to the screen though. So yeah, but I really like having Zoom. It's a lot easier to work with. Okay. here. Now, the thing about these, you want all of them to line up. I would be so mad if the thing was muted because I push Control M quite a bit. I also want that. You also, most times, it's not really necessary, but you want the bones to move at an arc. Okay. Okay. Oh, the other thing you want to do is make sure you save your program. You always want to save it. So go to save, or save, Control S to quick save it, and then save it into your stuff. And yes, I already have one existing, and I want to replace it. Okay, so let's begin again. And as you see from, wait, where is it? This I will be trimming later. I repeat, do not want all of this. We just want this small square. This small square. So I will be trimming that later. Okay. Okay, so now that we got most of it done, we need to get the feeties. You want this, like that, just like up here. This is more important to have the arc. Now, there's also supposed to be a bone right here. This one. Yeah. Here it is. Okay. So, now, the difference between this bone and this one, this is the bone that moves everything. This is the bone that only moves the body and the legs. For example, if you want to see how the bones will move, this is your test window. This is how it moves. All of this moves only the upper half. This is reset it. This removes everything. But what's this? It's not moving. How to fix that would be making this a master over this. So, at the number column, this is what you're attached to, this is what you're a slave to, and this is what you can be a slave to, like if something was rotating. Okay, so the problem is, this is a slave to -0. This is also a slave to nothing. Doing this will make it a slave to 1, thus making it able to move everything. Being this, it's able to move that, and then move everything. That is what you want. Okay, so as for the legs, I need them to have them a little bit more higher. When you go down, you see they bend forward, which is also a good thing. However, if it was straight and they went down, they will bend backwards. This is not what you want. But if they was a little bit farther, they will bend forward. So that's what we want. We want them to be ahead. You don't want them to be that. And now for this, when they bend down, you don't want them to cave in like that. You push it out. Not too far though. That's how you want it. You want it to just go out a little bit more so than in. Now you don't want it to come all the way out because this is different from an MD. Saving. Okay. So now this, and this are all unwanted bones. We don't need them anymore. So now what you want to do is highlight them and delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes. So now we don't have them anymore. Now we need to put this into a portion here. Here. And view how it would look. Yeah. Yeah, there's one less look. So I need one to be an end cap. How do I make an end cap? I know that's what you're thinking. To make a end cap, you want to highlight the bone and figure out what it is. So now that you have the position, you want to go here, go to new to add a whole new bone. but you want to still have the bone connected to this one. So you want to go to copy. Copy it. It's now a addition, an extra clone of the previous. And now we want to extend it. And voila, we have now 3 bones. Double clicking will also send you a bug face. Alright, so we want this to be like this one. You wanted the end off. So we select it, and find it. You want to rename it first. We don't want them to be fused together or confused as one another. So you want to end it off with 0. So now you want this to be different from that. I mean, you want this one to be the same. So you go over here, and each time you click, you notice that each one you go through is a different thing. But what we want is gray. This will be the cap ender, just like everything else. These you can rotate, these you cannot rotate. This helps you allow you to see if you select them or not. But I don't really have them on because you can still see that they're selected or not. Next, you want this. Some needs to be placed in a nice looking way. You always want to have the arch for it to bend properly. Okay, doke. Now that everything looks somewhat good, yeah, it's nice and nice and there. Okay. Now, we start rigging. What you want to start with first is the center area. What I like to do is select the top area and then rig down from there. Now, rigging. Pushing this after selecting a bone will allow you to rig the bone. And depending on what percentage you are at will depend on the color. The color will depend on the percentage, which helps determine which one is, or how much is complete. So to establish this, let's say, I'll take up the whole upper half. And another easy way is just to zoom out. But we don't want that. We just want the upper half. Alright. Now that I got the upper half, I just want the lower half. This one's the lower half. So now let's see how it looks. This shirt is the only thing that's rigged, so. Ta-da! Everything is moving. But wait. Something doesn't seem quite right. Yeah. That doesn't look right. We don't want we don't want it to look, we don't want it to split like that. That split is what we don't want. We want it to fade into each other. We don't want it to be separate. So we undo that and we just eat the rest of it. So what we want is, first of all, let me okay, so now that we took all of this, what we want is to fade it. Now, if one is already selecting all of it, and we come over here and we take all of this, one will establish that the percentage is 0. This has no relatively movement over it anymore. So we only have the out room. And if we came over here and took all the rest of it, I have all of that cut from here. You can see it bending it from here. So what we want it to fade into each other. We don't want it to be sharp. So let's undo that, and we're going to start from 20. I do 20, what you're going to see a lot is 20, 40, to 60, to 80. I do it by 40s to 20s, and sometimes I skip here and there, like 40, 80, 100. It's weird number math, but it looks great when the end result is. So now what we want is 20 here. We can go higher. So we can totally go higher. 40, 60, 80, 40, 60, 80, and 100, and boom. So now it's a nice bend fade. And when he turns, it looks nice, smooth, and sexy. But what's this? What's this? This overboob. We don't want overboobs. So what we do is come up here and we go to 10%, a little bit more or less, and we take in that overboob to make it soften. We can't just stop here. We actually have to go through the whole entire thing. Okay. Now we have overboob taken care of on both sides. So now it's nice, smooth, no overboob, no nothing. And you will run into that a lot. You will have to go back through something and make sure that it's nicely fitted. So the whole 20, 40 thing, it will not work every time. Sometimes we will have to go by the 30, the 60. 50 is not an option. 50 is not available. 50 none of these things splits 50-50. There's no such thing as 50-50 with this. Either 50-100 or 50-100. It's nothing 50-50. You do not share 50-50. So 55, yes. 54, yes. But 50, no. You do not want that. Alright. So let's continue rigging. And like I said, you can left click to jump to a position or another. So what we want to do is stop. Move this higher up. It's a little higher because you don't have much of a head or neck, more or less. And you want to set this. Now this moves this. So we don't need this to move anything else. We only need this to move. Because when I move this, I'm able to still move this, which still moves that. So whatever this is rigged to, this is also rigged to. Okay. So now I can actually move this. And I'm actually able to move this as well. This still moves that because this is attached to that. So with that, you notice that if I go back to this, the fade is made for us. So this one is like 20, this one's 100. So it subtracts it to 80, as this one is 0. And the fade, just like that. This is now 90, 80, 60, and you get to adjust. So yeah, 100 and then 0. So everything is faded into one another. But for order for this to happen, this must have complete control over the top half, or it will not be able to move. I'll explain that when I go over the arms. Okay, so usually I don't go for the arms, I go for the legs first. I work down and like work away from the middle, down, and then from the middle up. Thanks guys for watching the video. This is just the basics of how to rig PMD. I hope I didn't go too long or overboard. Catch you next time.